deal that we agreed to with the WBA, the deal that we had to agree to if we wanted to keep the title. And one thing Anthony Crolla was never ever going to do was to vacate a title that he worked so hard to win. Firstly, the fight with Darlis Perez, where he was basically robbed of a decision for the title, and then of course the wonderful performance back in November where he stopped Darlis Perez. And you know, for me, one of the proudest nights of my life, and of course for his life, and the atmosphere in that arena was wonderful. And this night on May the 7th is going to be a wonderful, wonderful fight. And Anthony Crolla has a bit between his teeth. Since becoming a world champion, it certainly hasn't gone to his head. It's definitely gone to his wardrobe, because that is a controversial outfit. And we can't wait for the fight on May the 7th. It's a huge card and a huge night of action. We're joined by many of those on the table here today. One member of the card who isn't present is Jose Burton. He'll be defending his British light heavyweight title on the bill. Down the end, a young man who has lit up the lightweight division, had some wonderful fights on Sky Sports. Who can forget the classic with Daniel Brizuela, wins against Martin Gethin, and that big night in the arena, outdoor arena against Luke Campbell last summer. From then, I went away with injury, had an operation in his back. On the card on May the 7th, Tommy Coyle. A young man on our far right who I think is going to be a real force in the light middleweight division. Joe Gallagher's been talking a lot about him over the years, and now I think he's ready to start pushing for his own titles, and that's Manchester's Marcus Morrison. And next to him, someone who is much more experienced but just as hungry. Probably one of the most unluckiest fighters in British boxing, but had some wonderful opportunities, and it's still a real force in the 168-pound division, coming back from that disappointing and very close fight against Arthur Abraham in Germany. Martin Murray will also feature as chief support on the May the 7th card. Martin is of course looking for that world title fight, but we're already in final talks with Sauerland about the George Groves fight this summer for Martin Murray, and I'm very close to finalising a deal there. Firstly, I'm going to ask Tommy Coyle to say a few words. Tommy, I know it's been a frustrating period for you. I saw you at Steve Wood's gym last week, back working with Jamie, working hard, and I know you're very excited and motivated to get back in there.
Yeah, I just love boxing, love the fight game, and I've missed the sport badly, so I'm looking forward to getting back in there and getting back in the mix and just being in some big fights, because I genuinely enjoy it.
That's the thing with you. I mean, when we sat in Steve Wood's office last week and I started reading off some names, you just basically said, yeah, I'll fight him, I'll fight him, I'll fight him. And so excited to get in those big fights as quickly as possible.
Yeah, that's it. It's a hobby for me, this game, it really is. I like the buzz of, I am like being the underdog as well. I love the thought of maybe upsetting the odds, and I just love everything about the game, and I've missed it very, very badly, and I think that'll show on May the 7th.
Obviously, talk about a disappointing loss for you at the KC, but a wonderful night, and Craven Park was alive that night. I know a night that you'll never forget as well, and keen to build off that big profile, and I know looking at potentially bringing fights back to Hull this summer as well. Yeah,
for sure. It's a massive feature in the scrapbook for me. It was one hell of a night, should we say. I never expected to do something like that and to have Michael Buffer even say my name. So I'm dead proud of how much I've achieved, and I just want to continue and just really do as much as I possibly can in the game.
Marcus, you've boxed on some huge shows now, of course, Frampton Quigg recently, and ready now to push on for titles, and under the guidance of Joe. I'll let Joe talk shortly. Well, it won't be shortly, as we know, but in a minute. But I know you're excited now to progress towards titles in 2016.
Yeah, like you said, titles are in the very near future now, and everyone in the gym's got himself on. Like Jose's got himself a British, and I feel like I'll be one of the, I'll be the last to get one. But yeah, I think there's no reason why I can't get hold of my first title.
Sell a huge amount of tickets in Manchester. You have massive support as well. Obviously, Manchester boxing thriving right now, and you have the opportunity to ride that wave with them.
Yeah, I bring a good crowd, some good noise to the arena, and hopefully this time they'll be able to get in to see me fight. Last time, there's no one in there to see me, but yeah, I bring some good noise, and that matters a lot that you can make some noise.
Martin, obviously had a decent rest from the Arthur Abraham fight, a very close fight. I thought you'd done remarkably well out there. I know you were really disappointed, talks of whether you continue, and you know, you got your head together and no, of course 100% we continue and we move forward for some big fights in 2016.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, obviously, it was, you know, I was a bit disappointed, but sorting it out over Christmas, went away with family, and I'm back. I've been taking over since Christmas, and you know, I want it more than ever. So I'm ready for anyone out there at super middleweight.
Obviously, talks of the Groves fight, you know, that's very close for you now. Everybody wants to fight Felix Sturm, but we'll have to travel for that fight, which, you know, we talked about and you've done your fair share of that. Yeah,
Still don't mind.
You told me you never want to travel again, now you don't mind. You know, of course, De Carolis as well, the WBA regular champion, so plenty of opportunities, but of course the Groves fight is an appealing fight for Britain.
Yeah, there's some great fights out there for me. Obviously, if a world title fight did come up, I would have to consider it, even though it would be travelling. But like I just said, you know, I don't mind travelling. Even though I said after the last fight, I was never travelling again. But you know, if the fight does come up, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. But the Groves fight's out there. I think it's a great fight for British boxing. You know, when I was a middleweight, I always wanted these big domestic fights and they didn't materialise. But now I'm at super middleweight, I think that they can happen. I've always wanted them, and you know, this Groves fight, obviously, it's as big as it gets domestically. So it's a fight I want, and you know, a fight when, if it does happen, you know, I know we'll smash him. So it's a fight I'm looking forward to.
Good stuff. It's a pleasure to be working with Greg Cohen Promotions, who represent Ismael Barroso, and Clifford Masters made the trip with Ismael for this journey. And I know you guys are very confident. It's a fantastic win for you against Kevin Mitchell on December the 12th, and you guys and Team Barroso are excited ahead of May the 7th.
Absolutely, absolutely. On behalf of Greg Cohen Promotions and Winner Take All Productions, I want to thank you all for coming here today. I want to thank you, Eddie. It's been a pleasure working with you, not just on this fight, but the Barroso-Mitchell fight and the upcoming Eric Hunter-Lee Selby IBF title fight. Also want to thank Sky Sports for broadcasting this live on TV and bringing it to a viewing audience of millions around the world. And finally want to thank Anthony Crolla. Anthony's a true champion inside and outside of the ring. He won his championship belt in spectacular fashion with a one-punch body shot knockout of Darlis Perez last November. So we give Anthony a lot of respect and credit for stepping in the ring with Ismael Barroso. With that being said, I do believe that Ismael Barroso is the best lightweight in the world, certainly the most dangerous, with an undefeated record of 19 wins, 18 wins, coming by way of knockout, devastating power in both hands. I know he's training harder than ever, and he will be ready come May 7th. I know that Anthony is not taking Ismael lightly, and he will be ready and prepared as well. And I think that'll translate into an action-packed, fan-friendly fight that the fans will be truly proud of. So I hope to see you all at the fight come May 7th. It's a fight you don't want to miss, and it's a fight that you won't forget. So we're looking forward to it.
Thank you, Clifford. And Ismael, with Joe translating for him. Obviously, a great win for you over Kevin Mitchell on December the 12th, and now a huge opportunity against Anthony Crolla.
Bueno, esta es una oportunidad que siempre estamos esperando a Kevin Mitchell, la primera pelea más importante de mi vida, de mi carrera boxística. Yo creo que esta pelea con Anthony Crolla será una buena pelea, será un gran espectáculo, será una buena guerra. Les prometo que si vengo con todo, vengo dispuesto a todo, a dar un espectáculo, que la gente que llegue y se divierta viendo una pelea entre dos grandes peleadores. Y bueno, estamos listos y preparados para el 7 de mayo brindar una gran pelea.
My fight with Kevin Mitchell was very good, but this one with Anthony Crolla is going to be, you're going to see two great fighters. The outcome will be that I will take the belt back to Venezuela. I've always said that. But it will be a very good fight because I know Anthony Crolla is a very good boxer.
Thank you. Joe, obviously another big fight for yourself. Marcus, Jose Burton, saw a tear in your eye when he picked up that Lonsdale belt on February the 27th. And of course, the toughest fight for Anthony Crolla of his career so far. And I know that a fight that you two are very excited about to work on tactically. And there's a lot of people that raised eyebrows when this fight was announced. But I know you two are excited for the challenge.
Yeah, thanks Eddie for delivering Anthony Crolla a world title defence, and like you say, here in Manchester. Like I say, it's a busy night as normal. First up, Marcus Morrison had a great win last time out, first round knockout. It was that quick, his fans didn't get in the door when they opened to see it, so he's doing well. And Jose Burton, British light heavyweight champion, from 11 years old, 32 kilogram schoolboy to winning the British light heavyweight champion in that last show. And it's great for him now that he can be on the undercard of another good show here in Manchester. Obviously Marcus over, as you said earlier, the riding the wave of the success in Manchester at the moment. And also Anthony's fight, very dangerous fight. Obviously it's a fight we had to take, it's a mandatory. I've seen things along the way where we're saying, oh, Anthony should fight Terry Flanagan, stuff like that. Listen, Anthony, this is his mandatory, this is who he has to fight. There's talk about Anthony giving up his world title to fight Terry Flanagan. Anthony achieved his dream at the Manchester Arena in November last year, and the WBA have been very good to Anthony in sanctioning that rematch. There's no way Anthony Crolla's got to give up a world title belt that he's fought extremely hard all his life to achieve. This is the mandatory. Let's get this taken care of the way, and then we'll see what's on the table after that. Barroso, very, very, very good fighter. I feel one of the most avoided fighters in the lightweight division at the moment. A devastating puncher, and it's the magnitude and the character of Anthony that didn't want to back down and wanted to take on his mandatory challenger, which is Ismael Barroso. We've got a work cut off. I think everybody is aware of Barroso. He beat Kevin Mitchell down at the O2 in devastating style, and Anthony's got to make sure the crowd are out to support him Saturday on May the 7th when he fights Ismael Barroso. It's a great fight. I'm really looking forward to it. But Anthony, like I know Tommy mentioned earlier, like being the underdog, and first of all, it's good to have Tommy Coyle back in the lightweight division. Never in a dull fight. I'm sure again on the May the 7th will be a good fight. But Anthony, his fights with Gavin Rees, John Murray, Perez, always the underdog, and I'm sure he'll go into this fight. People will see him as the underdog again, but that suits Anthony going into this, but he'll still come out the champion and a proud champion as well.
Talk a little bit about the progression of Anthony Crolla. You know, I remember the Gavin Rees fight. We had Gavin Rees at the time. Anthony wasn't with us, and I was pretty confident Gavin Rees would win that fight. It was a wonderful performance from Anthony. Just grown and grown and grown. You know, of course, the John Murray fight was a wonderful performance. Then steps up against Darlis Perez, who many saw Anthony as the underdog in that fight. Won the first fight comfortably, and then took it to another level to stop him in the rematch. You see this progression just continuing. Is it mental progression? Is it confidence? What is it that's making Anthony just get better and better in every fight?
I feel like I said that there was a steady progression with Anthony's career, with his performances, and a belief. Anthony had a few setbacks here in his career. A lot of people said he won't come to much. He's found his level at British title level, and I just think the belief in Anthony and the performances and the belief I have in him has made him progress. The wins then have sort of consolidated that belief in that he can become a world champion. And then Crolla, he was involved in that bad accident, and when something you love all your life, as Tommy Coyle just mentioned there earlier, he was nearly took away from him in bed in hospital there, fractured skull, broken ankle, and it's like what you've always done as a child since the age of 10, you can't do it, and he's come back more determined, more attention to detail, and you've seen that in the results of the fights of Perez, Darlis Perez. Now Ismael Barroso, what we've got to do going into this fight is be even that little bit more attention to detail again, more prepared, and to show the people that are writing Anthony off already, nah, this is a genuine lightweight world champion. And in my opinion, Jorge Linares is out of the picture now at the moment, but Anthony Crolla is the #1 in the lightweight in the world.
Anthony, we sit here, your first time at a press conference as the world champion. You know, we've had so many press conferences talking about how this is a Cinderella story and, a great opportunity for you. Now it's about keeping what's yours on May the 7th and a very difficult fight against Ismael Barroso.
Yeah, certainly. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone who's come out, Clifford and Ismael for flying over. And yeah, when you work for something so hard for so long, the last thing you want to do is give it up at the first attempt, give it at the first defence, and that was, I don't want to touch too much on it. Going on, there's been rumored about a fight with the winner from Saturday, Terry Flanagan, and you know what, I'd be a bit of a fraud if I went and give up this title I've gone on so long, you know, tried so long to get. If I give it up straight away, I get a tough mandatory challenge on me. So now this is a fight where Joe's just touched on it, you touched on it. The most dangerous fight in my career, the biggest fight in my career. I see like every fight in your career is that, but Ismael's a dangerous fighter, and I was ringside in December and I seen him sort of take Kevin Mitchell out, and he done it in very impressive fashion. And before that, I'll be honest, I didn't know too much about Ismael other than he was a huge puncher. And I remember seeing Greg going just before the fight, and he says, "Who do you fancy?" And I told him, I said, "I'm not so much about Ismael, but I know he's a big puncher," and I knew by the confidence in the way he was talking, Ismael was a good fighter, and he proved it that night. But also that night, I seen some things that I can work on, strengths and weaknesses, and that's what we'll be going to do. We'll be going away, we'll be working hard, and May the 7th, it's going to be another special night, and the crowd get behind me all the time, and I don't want to let them down. Like I say, it's pride and joy in front of me, and there's no way that I want to let that go on May the 7th. So underdog, yeah, there's like early betting, it suggests that I'm underdog, but that's not new to me, nothing new to me whatsoever, and I just look forward to winning my friends a lot of money.
I remember, obviously we were disappointed that Kevin Mitchell didn't win on December 12th. That would have been a huge domestic fight for us as well, but just that little look in your eye on ringside at the O2, that you were excited to fight Ismael Barroso. And you know, when we talked to Joe about potential fights and what we could do with this situation with the WBA, the answer was not a lot. You was never looking at an alternative.
No.
You knew what we signed up to. You knew who you had to fight. And you know, I saw things coming in on social media all the time saying, well, obviously you're going to swerve Ismael Barroso, but never really in your mind.
No, not at all. It got me back up a little bit. Straight away after it, everyone just said, "Oh, you won't fight him, you won't fight him." And listen, when you're a champion, I believe you fight the best challengers out there, and that's what I see Ismael Barroso as. I see him as a very good fighter, and well, more than a very worthy challenger. He's been ducked, he's been avoided by many, and I look forward to May the 7th, us both putting on a fantastic fight.
Thank you. I think there's been plenty of words said over the last couple of weeks about potential fights, potential domestic unifications, and just to make a couple of things very clear to everyone here. When we signed up for the rematch with Darlis Perez, we had an obligation to fight Ismael Barroso. It was a legal resolution from the WBA. There was no way out other than vacating the title, and that was something that Anthony Crolla's never ever going to do. Number two, when we decide to make that fight with Terry Flanagan, we'll do it properly. We'll do it for a lot of money. And number three, it's my job to protect Anthony Crolla financially. And this man has a lot to thank for the people of Manchester. You know, when he boxed against Darlis Perez in the first fight, there was about 11,500 people there. When he boxed Darlis Perez for the rematch, there was about 8,000 people there. This fight, we're expecting double figures again. So I think, you know, we know who the number one draw is in the division, certainly domestically. And if I'm allowed to promote that fight, all being well, and God willing, the victory against Ismael Barroso, we'll do it properly for a lot of money. But for now, we follow our obligations, we deliver what we said we'd do, and we deliver, I think, the best fight in the 135-pound division at the moment, which is Anthony Crolla against Ismael Barroso. I think it's the most dangerous fight Anthony Crolla could have possibly taken in a division. And I know he's so excited about it, and we cannot wait to get back into the Manchester Arena on May the 7th and have another fantastic night. So thank you very much for coming. We're going to have a group shot up here now, and then head-to-head with Anthony and Ismael, and we'll see you very soon. Thank you.